I am up on Mount Lemmon today. It's a mountain just out of Tucson that's about 8,000 feet in elevation and about 20 degrees cooler. So when I get too hot in the valley, in fact, it's 106 degrees down there today. So when I get too cool or too hot down there, I jump in my little hatchback and I head up to Mount Lemmon. So I love it here, and I usually bring a good book and I sit out and just enjoy the cool, nice weather. I want to talk to you a little bit today about how to deal with maybe not a disability, but a challenge to your mobility. Um, we all have to deal with um, our genealogy, and our ancestors passed on various things to us. My mother inherited scoliosis and osteoporosis and degenerative disc disease from her mother. And then I inherited those same things from my mother. Thanks, Grandma Hunter, and all the people before you. Now, we have no control over that. But there are various things that we can do if we know about it soon enough. There are some supplements and what have you that we can take to stave off the osteoporosis, and also to help with other things like that, scoliosis. They have some wonderful braces now that you can use to augment your balance and to kind of help straighten your spine so that it doesn't get so terribly disfiguring. And it's not just the disfiguring, it's the pain associated with the twisting of your spinal cord, or your spine, actually. And so, anyway, I inherited those things from my ancestors, and those are things that I have to deal with, just like people inherit a tendency toward heart disease, high cholesterol, and that kind of thing, and they inherit those things from their ancestors. So I have worked since I've begun to feel the pain of the osteoporosis and the pain of the scoliosis. I have begun to experiment with various things that work for me. Now, I like to walk. I've always walked a lot. And I think on one of my videos, I put a picture of my husband and I getting ready to take out on a 60-mile hike on the Pacific Crest Trail in Canada, from Canada down into the United States. So I have done a lot of walking. And, but I have learned that even though I have gotten to the age to where I am seeing the ramifications of the osteoporosis and the scoliosis, now I have to deal with the pain. I didn't have the pain when I was younger. It's in my latter years that I'm having to deal with the pain. And I don't want to give up my walking. I like to hike. As you know, I just posted a hiking video. I like to go hiking, even at my age. And so I don't want anything, physical or otherwise, to hinder that. So I have learned that the best thing to do is to treat um, the malady with something to support my body. And I have found that one of the best things to do is to use a cane. I know you hate to hear it, but there comes a time when you need that kind of support for your body. Now I use this cane. You can see that it has the support, the stand at the bottom, so it'll stand alone. It works well for me. And I got to the point to where I realized that my back was going to hurt if I didn't have this to give me a little extra support. So after I bought it and I use it regularly, I do not have the pain in my back that I had before. I can pick this cane up even without any back support and push myself up into a full standing height, into my full height, and it feels so much better. So this cane helps. Now, there's nothing wrong with using a cane. So, and get over yourself. If you need one, get one and use it. And I use it when I go walking. Let me show you something else I use. I use this back support. Now, I know the letters are going to not be the way they should be as I turn it around, but it says on it, Live Limitless. Now, I'm too new in this game to have any sponsors, so nobody's paying me to show you this. But this has worked well for me. And I put this around my waist, and it secures uh, in the largest belt area. And I'll show you how that works. It secures right there. And then these two straps on the side pull out, they push over, and it secures again in the front. So that gives you a lot of support as you're walking. Supports that area so that it stays the way it's supposed to stay and doesn't mush around, because we're getting old and mushy. So anyway, these two items have helped me tremendously as I have aged. Now let's talk about traveling alone. You know, I was married for almost 60 years, and my husband and I did everything together. I seldom went off with lady friends and so forth and did things. I might go for a couple hours, go to coffee or go shopping or something like that. But for the most part, we did things together. And one day I said to him, honey, you don't have to go with me everywhere. You can go with one of your friends and go camping, go do some things like that, whatever you'd like to do. He said, honey, I would rather be with you. And so I let him be with me. We did everything together, believe me. We hiked, we rode ATVs, we rode horses, and we traveled. We did so many things that a lot of couples do together. The thing about marriage is, the Bible, there's a scripture that says that when you marry, the two shall become one. And that's talking about more than just the marriage union, but also I found that you were united in spirit. You know, your spirits were one. We even thought alike after a number of years. In the beginning, you have your issues and you're um, trying to learn how to live with somebody else. But after a while, I knew what he wanted to do before I even asked him. And so after you've been married like I had been for 60 years, when you lose your life partner, it's like part of your spirit has been ripped away with him. And I know that those of you out there that have lost loved ones and particularly lost a marriage mate of longevity, um, you feel the same. It was hard for me to get used to being without him. One thing that helped as far as my traveling by myself is concerned is um, I was a realtor for 20 years or so, and I traveled about 30, no, not 30, I traveled at least 60,000 miles a year doing what you have to do in the real estate business. And most of that time I was alone. So I get used to that. And I was never used to being without him because I knew I could go home that night and he would be at home and we would have our evening together. But at least I learned to travel alone and take care of myself out there. Consequently, now that he's gone, uh, I don't even think twice about jumping into my car and taking off on a 2,000-mile trip. It takes a little planning, of course, but I'm ready to go. It's not an issue. I recently took a long trip up to Washington State and across to Montana and down, and I was gone for, I don't know, a month or so. And while I was gone, one of our friends took my son aside and said, "You know, you really should not let your mother go off on those trips like that by herself. You need to make her stay at home," or something to that effect. To which my son replied, "Have you ever tried to talk my mother out of doing something that she really wants to do?" And the conversation was ended because unless you've experienced someone as strong willed as some of us can be, you don't know what you're up against. But anyway, my kids just want to know where I am, if I am well, if I'm safe, and I check in regularly with them. So traveling alone can be fine. Um, since Jim passed away, I've traveled to Oklahoma and Arkansas and New Mexico. I've traveled to Utah and Washington, Idaho, and Oregon, and Montana by myself. And I'm fine doing that. I like to do that. And so if I have a friend that wants to go along, we can make plans, and that would be great. I would love that. But if I don't, I am content to travel by myself. One place that I have traveled twice to by myself is Hawaii. And I've gone to Oahu twice since Jim passed away. And I find that it works out very well for me. I like Oahu. A lot of people like to go to the outer islands, and I've been there too, and I like them. But I'd like to go to Oahu, and so I usually go there. But anyway, basically, you need to plan ahead. I plan not only what I'm going to be doing in Oahu, I make reservations for all the things that I want to do, but I also make reservations for my transportation. I live in Tucson, but I do not want to drive to Phoenix any more than I have to. Just saying. So I usually reserve a seat on a transport shuttle up to Phoenix, and so they'll load my bag for me. I get on the transport, and I'm happy. So I'm sorry. We'll be locking up our parking lot soon. Oh, what time do you close up here? At 4:30. What time is it now? 4:40. Okay. Time gets away from me. I know. It sure does. I know it's so nice out here. Yeah. Okay. I'll.
Well, that was kind of a strange situation. I guess I had overstayed the closure time. And for those of you that don't know, in Arizona, we have a monsoon season, and we're right in the middle of that monsoon season. And there were some storm clouds rolling in, and they were supposed to get quite a bit of rain right there. So when it starts to rain like that, they go ahead and close up the area that I was in. So anyway, it was pretty cute. She was very nice, and I was glad to accommodate. So I just, since it was going to rain, I just came on back home and thought I would finish up. I didn't have much left to say. I just wanted to continue telling you about how I go ahead and plan my entire trip I was talking about my Hawaii trips. Before the date arrives, I know exactly where I'm going. I know who's going to pick me up. I know, what hotel, of course, I'm going to be staying in, and they take me right to my hotel. And then I also make reservations for any tours that I want to do. If I want to go to a luau, I make a reservation for the luau. And I do all of that before I go so that when I get there, I don't have to worry about anything. Everything is planned and it all falls right into place. All I need to do is make sure I keep record of when all these things are taking place and that I don't miss any of my parties. You don't want to miss a party. But anyway, I have a great time when I go, even if I am by myself. People are friendly. There are many people there that are my age, and I can strike up a conversation with many people, and I just thoroughly enjoy myself. So, our original topic, don't stay home. If you want to do something, plan it and do it. And the key word there is plan it, but plans are nothing if you don't follow through. So just because you're getting up there in age doesn't mean you have to stay home. There are places to go and things to do. So until next time, you want to make sure you keep on moving. See you later.